So what's up there, Headbangers? Fred Carroll here, host of Headbangers History. And yeah, we need to have a little fireside chat here in the tempo of riffs. So I want to talk about taste. I want to talk about respect. And I want to talk about how the hell these videos even get made.
Are you ready? Ready.
Because judging by some of the comments I see lately, I'm thinking a few folks might need a peek behind the curtain.
Doesn't matter what I say, you're gonna tell me anyway.
Look, I love metal. I live it. But not every band I cover is going to be in your wheelhouse. And guess what? That's okay. That's metal. Some aren't even really in my own. But I will never go out of my way to disparage or speak negatively against something that you may love.
Preach, brother.
I'm here to introduce a band or a piece of music to someone who may never know they existed. Metal was never supposed to sound like one thing. It's death metal in Sweden, doom metal in Birmingham, glam metal in LA, black metal in a frozen forest somewhere scaring the neighbors.
Yes, I hate that rock and roll rubbish.
But here on Headbangers History, I'm going to talk about all of it, because it all matters. But let me tell you what goes into these videos, because I don't just wake up, crack a beer, ramble onto the camera. I do use tools. One of the tools is AI, love it or hate it.
Yes, like artificial intelligence.
For me, it's a time saver. And yeah, I'll say it, I use AI to build a skeleton, a rough draft. Just the bones, the framework. Then I go to work, I add my stories, my voice, my experience. I rewrite, reshape, I make it mine. Some real time goes into every planned release. And yes, I use a teleprompter.
I'm the boogeyman with a teleprompter.
Because it's the only way I can get the whole story explained to you and create a better product. But here's the kicker. Even with all that, I'm human.
You're still only human.
I make mistakes. I get a year wrong. I miss a lineup change. I call an album underrated when you think it's garbage. I mispronounce things all the time.
This is basic English?
I show the wrong clip and reference. It's called being a person. I'm not a machine.
Status rebooting.
And I'm okay with this. But one thing I'm not okay with is seeing anti-gay slurs, hate speech, or straight up garbage in the comments just because you don't like a band that I chose that week.
My boy's wicked smart.
Or you don't like my thumbnail because I used AI or my voice is trash. It's really endless with the keyboard warriors. I need you to get that shit out of here. Metal is built on defiance, but it's also built on community. It's built on freaks, weirdos, outcasts, people who never fit in anywhere else.
Groovy pop, groovy.
You don't get to love Rob Halford, Gall, OTEP, King Diamond, and then turn around and spew homophobic crap in the same breath. Not here. So here's the deal. If you love metal, I don't care if you're a black metal corpse painting freak, a thrash lifer, or a Poison fan with teased hair and eyeliner. You belong.
Is that mascara?
But if you're here just to hate, go cry about it somewhere else. This channel is not about that. It's about the stories, the people, the riffs. And like I always say, every riff tells a story.
Now he's a philosophizer.
So do me a favor, hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Drop me a comment. Tell me about your band, your story, your scene, what you want me to talk about, what you'd want me not to talk about. Let's keep this metal history alive. But we'll do it together. This is Headbangers History. I'm Fred Carroll. Check out my videos. And be nice. Be kinder. You got it. You could do it. I know you can, and I'm looking at you.